Welcome to the Theater of Others podcast. My name is Adam Marple, and I'm the co-artistic director of the Theater of Others. With the COVID-19 pandemic forcing a shutdown and reevaluation of space and gathering, we at the Theater of Others are thinking about what stories we need and how best we can share them. We believe space is psychology, and it informs the way in which an audience interacts and reacts to what is presented to them. We create uniquely theatrical events in bespoke sensory performance spaces crafted to encourage curiosity and grant the audience permission to commune with the play. Now that space has moved online, how can we encourage interaction and action amongst an audience virtually? The Theater of Others produces plays that both welcome and challenge the audience. We are committed to international collaboration and are a laboratory that helps artists grow through intensive study of their craft. The Theater of Others creates a shared community of artists and audiences for the purpose of exploring the most profound issues of our lives and times. We believe the play watches the audience. The audience is necessary, and they are witness to what happens. And you get to be witness to us making that happen. The purpose of this podcast is to open up our process and let you in. We're peeling back the curtain, so to speak, and encouraging you to follow along, to ponder, prod, and question, to join us and criticize us if need be. Being a witness is no passive task, and it requires much from you. Are you up for the journey? On the podcast today from Melbourne, Australia, our co-artistic directors Budi Miller and myself in Cairo, Egypt. This podcast contains explicit language.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Budi.
How you going?
I'm having a good day so far.
Actually, I should probably like, how you doing? How you doing?
Right.
I'm not in Australia, so I can't say, how you going? I go, how you doing?
Right, because you're in upstate New York.
Now, if I'm in upstate New York, then it'd be like, how you doing? How you doing?
Right. Exactly.
No, I'm from Brooklyn.
You're from Michigan. But anyway.
Ew. Gaslight. Stop it.
What does a Michigan accent sound like? I don't really know. I mean, I know
Yes,
what a Midwestern is a Midwestern.
Okay, this is what a Michigan accent sounds like. It almost sounds like it's Southern, but like my mother, she talks like this. She's like, "I'll lie," in my old name, "I'll lie." And it's like, if you get an opportunity to watch my PhD seminar, you'll hear my mother go, She wants us to turn the volume, turn the volume down. And I'm like, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh. So question.
Yeah.
How do they say good morning in Georgia?
Good morning.
No, they don't. That's not how they say it.
Say good morning.
Don't lie. Don't gaslight me. How do they say it?
Top of the day to you.
See, this is why I'm in a podcast with you, because I want people to see just how white people are, truly to understand how the white man is. From one gaslit moment to the next. How do you say hello in Georgia?
Hello?
That is not how you say it.
Saying hello. I say
no.
Hello.
No, you said, how y'all doing out there? How y'all doing?
That is not how I talk.
Since when?
That's not how y'all doing out there? It's not how I say good morning to people.
That's literally how you talk. You know why? When you get really upset and tired, you are so outback.
Oh, when I get tired or drunk, I become very Southern. Yes, my accent does come out. But when I wake up in the morning, I am not tired or drunk. I am ready to hit the day because life is beautiful and everything is great. Which every single person who's listened to this podcast knows, who the hell is that guy? Because he is grumpy all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gaslighting. Once again.
See, I'm not sure you're using this word correctly. I think you're confusing the word lie or joke with the word gaslight.
Gaslighting means I smell gas and you say there's no gas.
Okay. What's the difference between gaslighting and lying?
Lying is just telling the bold face not truth. Gaslighting is getting me to believe that you're on my side and telling the bold face not truth.
How am I trying to get you on my side with
Weird.
the idea of not saying how y'all doing?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The fact that we are on this podcast is letting me know that I can trust you. But then when you lie to me, that's gaslighting, Adam. Christopher Marple.
So our entire relationship is based off of you gaslighting me then. I understand. Okay, got it.
Give me first moment. Okay, first moment of gaslighting. When did I gaslight you today?
When do you not gaslight me? If by your definition it is anything that you say because I'm on your side that is not true is gaslighting, then you gaslight me all the time. I've learned it from you. I learned it from watching you, Dad. I learned it from watching you.
Wait a minute. I want an example.
Give me an example where I'm on your side and I have gaslit you.
Yeah, you don't know. All of a sudden, you don't know how to speak like a person from Georgia.
Folks, ladies and gentlemen, what we have discovered today is only white people gaslight.
Amen. Hallelujah. Finally, you've come to the light, Adam Marple.
Yep. Yes, I believe you 100%, Budi. That is, I'm on your side and agreeing with you right now.
Wow. Is that like benevolent like patronage?
Sure. Whatever that means for you, yes. Benevolent patronage, yes. That's what I'm doing.
No, patronage.
Patronage. Oh, okay, great. Please describe can you give us the definition and etymological origin of that, please?
I first need you to first learn how to be able to pronounce certain words as well. You have a problem with things like French origin words, Italian origin words, German origin words. You want to Anglify everything because you're a colonist.
For the love of Christ, can we get to the podcast?
Wait a minute. Wait. We're not podcasting right
now? I don't know what we're doing right now, but can we get to the podcast?
Look, there just needs to be a lot more Black representation on this podcast. That's the problem.
Compared to the 50-50 representation that we have right now?
Exactly.
So an all-Black podcast. An all-Black podcast?
I need some global majority up in here. I need some Black perspective up in here. I need somebody. Adam! Come back. Adam, we love you. We want you to live.
Was I going to die? Was that what's going to happen?
Where'd you go? Don't go.
You said there was not enough representation of Black folks on the podcast. There's only 2 of us here, so I decided to make it 100%.
That is full of shade. You are a shady white man.
I am trying to help out. I'm an ally, and I'm doing the only thing that I can do, which is get out of the way.
Well, you know what? I think the better way of dealing with this is for us to invite another Black person onto this podcast.
We could do that too. Sure. This is a mess. Transition.
Do you see what I did there?
Yes. For the love of God.
I gave you some low-hanging transitional fruit. You can transition now, Adam Marple. We have a guest today, don't we, Adam?
We do, because this is the Audio Play Festival that we are in the month of November. We got a new play every single week. We've already released our first one, and we're getting ready for our next play, which is Kam Henderson's Barrelhouse, which we're so excited to hear and share with everybody. This is when we read this play, when we read this play, we all collectively as a company, I don't think there was another play that there was always somebody that's like, maybe, I don't know. Every single one of us all collectively said, hell to the yeah on this one. I want to hear what this can become.
So, yeah, because we didn't know what it was going to do, but we wanted to see where it was going to go.
Yeah. It was, as a concept, as an idea, as just a little bit of writing that we got at the beginning, it was exciting. It was really kind of sexy and exciting, and I cannot wait to hear it on Monday. So joining us from Spain, newly moved to Spain, is Kam Henderson. Kam, welcome to the past. Thank you for being here with us today.
Hey y'all. Yes, I am. I'm in Spain right now, so I know all about colonization. I will say, Adam, those were such kind words. And with all the gaslighting that has been done in the last 8 to 10 minutes or so, I don't know if I can receive all of it.
Right. Well, just listen to Budi, because he's a doctor now and he'll give you some excellent medical advice and cannot steer you wrong. So I'll just sit over here in the corner and let y'all talk.
Wow. The black man throws the other black man under the bus. Shade.
Anyway, how are y'all doing?
Exactly.
Nuh-uh.
No, I love that, Kam. Thank you for moving the podcast along. Yes, we're doing great. Thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, Kam, how are you doing?
That's a loaded question. 1, I'm alive. And 2, I feel a lot of things. I always feel a lot of things. I'm excited for Monday. I'm excited to hear it. I sat in on recording. I sat in on the first half. And then I left the second half because I wanted there to be something for me to experience. I want to experience my own work. So there's a half that I don't know what it sounds like right now. So I'm excited to hear that. I am glad y'all are both in the room together because y'all been missing for quite a while. I listen. I do my homework. Y'all been missing. Well, I'm sorry, not y'all. Budi has been missing. Yeah, but Budi's been missing.
Oh, okay. So now, you brought it up, Kam. You brought it up. Kam, you brought it up. You said that I was gaslighting Adam Marple. Let's talk about why Budi was not on the interview podcast.
Yes, let's do that.
The other white man gaslit me.
Nope.
His name is Jack David Burmeister.
Not what happened.
Oh, not Jack.
What? Okay, you know what happened? I didn't have anything on my calendar for when the podcast was happening. Nothing.
And yet all three of us showed up at the same time.
Did
for the podcast
not exist. Yeah, Adam Marple, but I'm a busy bitch. I need my calendar to be correct. And that's what normally happens. We have a producer that does a good job most of the time when he's not gaslighting me.
Again, not the right use of the word, but okay. All three of us, all three of us who were on the email and the WhatsApp chain showed up at the right time. And we did a podcast, and it was okay.
I am so glad you are here today. That's what's important. I was very nervous.
Did you think I was gonna miss it?
Yeah,
Kam,
did. I was very nervous.
Kam, I only have one thing to say to you. Nothing but death would keep me from it.
Wow. That's heavy. I was very nervous. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I was very nervous. But I'm so glad. I'm so glad that both of y'all are here.
Yes,
we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. That's the more important thing.
Kam, I have a question though. It's a really, really big question. What the hell is going on in that head of yours? How did you create this piece?
Mm.
It's epic. And like what was how did you even begin to like think that this could even be something that anyone could produce?
Well,
It's so wild.
um, you know, that's a great question. Um, and you know what? To answer that question, we don't have none but time. So I'll tell y'all a little story of how we got here. So, um, I'm from Memphis, the South. I love that you're from Georgia, Adam. Don't let a booty bully you, okay? Don't let booty bully you
15 years
about
ago.
being from the South. Um, so I'm from Memphis, and growing up, I knew, I knew in some way, shape, or form, I was going to end up writing something. I knew I would be an author of some sort. Um, Not necessarily playwriting. I think growing up, it is so easy to like. It is so easy to make theater seem like the only path is acting. I remember when I was in high school and one of the high school theater directors mentioned directing. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is a thing. And even though it seemed so obvious looking back on it then, I was just in an environment where acting was the focus. If I want to do theater, I want to be an actor. Stage managing, directing, et cetera, wasn't, I don't know, just didn't exist in my mind, I guess. And so up until this point, I had gotten into theater. Over the pandemic, I had gotten heavy um, into theater history, how it works. Um, and when I was applying to college, I really wanted to go to NYU. It was my dream school. Spoiler alert, I am here. It's been my dream school since the 6th grade, and I am here. Big win, my
Yay!
biggest win I've had thus far. And I remember when I was applying, I was like, I should, I feel like I should be doing something theater wise, and at the exact same time, I didn't apply. I didn't apply to Tisch. I am not in Tisch. And to this day, I think it is the greatest decision I ever made. As of right now, I am a double major in global liberal studies and dramatic lit. And I am like going out and then coming back in, meaning I am going out, exploring the world, and bringing that back to theater.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think has been the smartest move for me.
Hmm.
And so from there, I spent my whole freshman year. I was like, okay, how do I make theater? I don't know how to do this. Fresh in New York, had never been in New York before, had no one up there. And I spent the whole year kind of down. I was like, I don't know how to make this happen. I'm not in Tisch. I have no like connections to anyone. How do I do this? And so I did nothing but see theater. I spent the entire year seeing theater. I got the big blockbusters out the way. I saw everything from out to Jersey, I went out to Philly, local, community, Broadway, everything. And at the time, I didn't realize it, but now I do. I was doing the work. At the time, I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing any work. But that year was so important because it taught me so much about the kind of theater I like, the kind of theater I want to make, the kind of theater that I want to shy away from, the things that interest me, the things I enjoy, and also like how theater is shaped amongst different people, different communities. It was a very impactful year. And so the next year, my sophomore year, I delved into directing in the fall. I directed a full-length play, and I want to say it was a dumpster fire, but it wasn't. It was not a dumpster fire. uh, it was a learning experience. That's what
There
it
you
was.
go. There you go.
It was a learning experience that taught me a lot about um, the way the industry works and the way that I don't know. Anywho, next semester, so this year, spring of 2023, I was taking a creative writing workshop, and we had to produce 2 pieces throughout the semester. It could be the same, different, it could be in any form. And I was like, you know what? The directing thing, even though I love directing, maybe I should take a break. Maybe I should focus on writing. And so I have a question for both of you. Before I continue this story, I have a question for both of you because it's so interesting. I've been asking this question now that I've been in college, and it's growing up. I'd always thought that there was one answer to this, but apparently there's many of them. So my question to y'all is: when you are reading any text, whether that be nonfiction, whether that be a play, a novel, anything, when you are reading a piece of text, is there any visualization going on in your head? What is that process like for you? So curious. Don't all speak at once.
Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll use plays just because just because. Um, try as I might, yes, I am visualizing from the beginning. And I talked about this before when we talked about script analysis and me as a director, how many times I have to read a play. And I say from the first time you read a play, it should just be plot. Just read it to read it. But I am already seeing it in my mind. I'm already, staging things in my head, which is why I need to read it a second time, because now I got to get rid of that idea. And if those ideas stick, then sure. But yeah, I'm absolutely, I'm a visual person more than I am a word auditory person. So poetry doesn't do as much for me as, things that are visually oriented. Um, yeah, I guess that's my answer. Budi, what do you think?
For me, I'm a huge dyslexic, as you know. But I'm a huge sentient being. So when I read a play, like it depends on the time, the version, and the time that I'm reading it. The first time I read it, I always read it for the feeling. I fall into the feeling of the play. I fall into the relationships. I fall into uh, how something is said, how something is being registered, how something is being connected and related to. And then the second read, I fall into the details of what I'm seeing and hearing. And then in the third read, I go straight to the punctuation to get the actual notes that are being played on the page. So and I don't really know a play until I've read it at least 3 times.
Yeah, for sure.
That's very interesting.
And you?
So
And you?
I'll get there. Give me a second. We on the ride. Give me a second. So I learned in a couple classes I was taking that everybody is so different. I heard people say that when they read, they see nothing. They just read it, and that's just that as it is. I've heard people say they read, let's say it's a novel, they read a chapter, and then at the end of the chapter, they'll visualize it like a recap in their mind. I've heard people say that as they read, what they see, the words that they see, they just see those same words in their head, like the actual word. And so it was so interesting because for me, growing up has been very intense. When I read something, I see it, I hear it, I feel it. It is like really intense. If I use the same scenario, if we're in a parking garage and there's a gunfight going on between a bunch of spies or something, and I'm reading it, I see it all. I see bullets flying everywhere. I hear the bullets. I hear everything. It is very visual. And that same concept is also applied to music. So if I'm listening to music, I see whatever my brain just wants to conjure up. And one random day, I had one of those epiphany moments that to me are so obvious now, but at the time wasn't obvious. I was like, what if I just wrote down what I see in my head? And here we are. Barrelhouse started as it was something that had to develop over a period of time. I love the way that my mind develops a piece. So it started with me listening to a song, and I kept seeing at the bridge of this song, I kept seeing this person. It was in black and white. It was a person riding a mechanical bull soaking wet. And the only thing in this was a pair of red boots. That was the only thing of color in there. And so I was like, okay, interesting. And I started this little playlist of these kind of like folk, blues songs. And at the exact same time, we had hit February, and I was in the process of looking at some data from my hometown that had been discovered by an activist group about some records from the early to mid 1800s, and how there were just so many Black people that were there, so many pictures of them with no names. There were census records from years that were lost. It was just so interesting to me because now it doesn't look like that. It's very much so suburb. It's very much so moolah. And I went to see a production of The Jungle at St. Anne's Warehouse, and there was this quote that stuck out to me that I literally had to keep repeating in my head until the show ended so I could write it down. And it was, "You are standing on the shoulders of giants you do not know." And so I took all of that, and drafted this piece about it's different now, but at the time it was about a man who returns back to his hometown after running away as a child, and the town decides it wants to burn the town down and move because everything is run down. Everything is tired and old and weak, and everyone's afraid to move. No one wants to move because what's out there? You know, it's safer here where we know what's going on. We can try to bootleg and fix what kind of is broken, but to pick up and move, that's a lot. And so the story is based in like, there are all these people who built and created the town that gentrifiers protect. Suburbs are places where a lot of white people are like, you know, we built this for us. We built this to protect us. And it's like, that is so interesting because did you? Do you know the shoulders of the giants that you stand on? So I drafted the very opening piece of that, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And so I got it workshopped, and I was so floored. It was the first thing that I'd ever finished. Finished in the sense, it wasn't complete, but it was finished in the sense of like, this is something. This is something that is a whole that will be a part of a larger whole. And then, you know, you just go on the internet and you're looking up stuff, And then there came y'all. And there came y'all. And I want to shout out one person because they're like, they're the reason that I pushed myself to submit. Jack.
Jack David Burmeister?
Jack. It is Jack.
What?
Jack, I already told you this briefly when we were finishing up recording. But Jack's work is brilliant. When I was thinking about applying, I went and I did my homework. I listened to 1,000,001 different episodes, and I paid special attention to the plays that Jack sound designed, and they were incredible. Jack, I am so honored to have you sound design this piece. And I think it's wild that I've gone from listening to your pieces and now being one of them. And a big part of me submitting is me wanting to hear me through you, through your sound, through your process. And I am so honored. So thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Jack. Jack, you are my favorite. I've told you this before. I think I kind of scared him because I don't talk to Jack often. So imagine not talking to someone at all and then getting on a call and then them telling you that they're your favorite. Something that and you know what's so funny? I remember the day that I was going to submit, that's the day y'all extended. I remember like it was yesterday. Y'all extended the deadline. And then I ended up submitting. And you know what's really funny? I submitted and I was like, you know, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, that's also fine too, because this also isn't finished. And if I do get it, that means I have to commit to finishing it. And then I walked into a class and I sat down. And right before the class began, I saw the email and I went, damn. So
now I got to do it.
You know, so I was like, you know what? I will do it. So I said yes, and I was like, okay. So now I have to figure out a way to finish this. And some very valuable things came out of the process of making this. Where we are now and where we are in the beginning, we're just such different places. And once again, going back to my love letters, one of the biggest reasons for that is the Stephen Gualney.
Amen.
Stephen, if there's one thing that you are good at, it is listening to me from my mouth. You, when it came to workshopping this piece and helping me develop it, all of the questions and the things that you pointed out weren't even related to the piece and how the piece developed. It really was pointed at the work that I needed to do to hone in on my style and get very clear with who I am and how I wanted to approach it. And
can you elaborate on that? Your style and identifying that. And, talk about that.
So, Shalia, I'll come back to you later because you also have a love letter here too. But there's a quote that
I'll tee the ball up for you for Shalia.
And ever since she said it, it has been in my mind ever since. when I was in the process of making this, there was a character, there was a central character, and um, the hardest part of trying to write this was like, okay, how do I create a narrative? How do I take this character on a journey? Yada yada yada. And I struggled so bad, I just couldn't write it. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to take this further. And that character just could never leave the very first chunk that I wrote. And it ended up getting to the point to where, you know, everyone was like, okay, where is it? Budi was messaging like, hey, do you have something? And I was like, yeah, I got something. Just give me X amount of time. And then X amount of time came, and I literally sat in the bed that same night that I submitted it, and I wrote the whole entire thing in one night, in one sitting. And that is what y'all have in y'all's hands today. And I cut him. I just cut the character. And then when I was finished, I was like, oh my God, that was so easy. And I realized from that what was standing in my way was the idea that I needed a narrative, was the idea that, and there is a narrative there, but a traditional narrative. That I needed this like 3-act structure and this hero's journey and all of these very traditional things that just does not coincide with what is going on up here. And something that Stephen, I think unintentionally brought up was like, go back to the beginning and like think about when you applied and think about what was the why and like the little seeds of that. And that kind of like flipped everything upside down. And when I was telling all this to Shalia, she was just like, you know, we have this idea that theater is narrative and really theater is just an event. And I was like, oh my goodness. That like really put it all into perspective for me, because that is how it all works in my head. It is a huge event. It is a huge event. It is something that doesn't require story. It is just, you know, it's I was once told by this guy, he was like, you know, I often feel like we talk more about being and don't just focus on just being. We talk about it, but we don't be. And I feel like that is what this piece is. It is people just being. It is words. It is a lot, and I'm so proud of it. And you know what? I could not have done that without y'all.
I want to speak to that, Cam. Cam, I want to speak to that because as a African American queer dyslexic artist, that is what resonated most profoundly for me, was the feeling. Like, and I think for me, it resonated stronger than anyone else in the company. And, you know, we had to give feedback on why particular proposals were necessary. And for me, out of all of them, it was the clearest on a perspective of the intersection from which the writer was writing from. It was like the feeling that I was experiencing was from an intersection of a very complex, magical place that the African American mind, the African American boy's mind, doesn't get an opportunity to play, because we are all, because our lives are surveilled by the industry and by white supremacy, and the stories in which and narratives in which that we are allowed to tell on a larger scale don't fully represent us. So I felt the feeling in which, and the magic in which that we are as people is so abundant and fecund that it was a no-brainer for me. And then when I watched it evolve, it just got deeper and deeper and deeper. So when I you know, with the advice of Adam, really wanted to push you into not directing it and getting a director for it, because I knew exactly who could direct this. Because Shalia, being an African American woman, knows exactly where this lives, and on top of that, she is an incredible artist in her own right. Her imagination is incredible, and her ability to surveil the entire terrain of an artist's vision is unmatched. So I thought it would be a perfect match for you, and then she brought in Atu. So I'm just
Booty,
happy that, like,
that's
your soul spoke to our souls, and our souls together as Black people came together. The souls of Black folks came together.
Booty. That was such an amazing, amazing segue, because I've been waiting to get on this. I have written down right here, Booty, Arrow, voluntold to take a step back from writing and bring in another director. I
Voluntold. I
remember
love that. I'm keeping that.
voluntold.
Voluntold. I
I was
love that.
voluntold.
Yes.
I remember I was
Yes.
like, I remember I saw the email and I was like, I'm not responding to this. This will get responded to later. Let me just think through this. And before I had time to think through it, Budi responded himself and was like, "Hey, we're looking for a director." Oh, thanks. And you know what? You were absolutely right. You were absolutely right. Even though, I was like, oh goodness, it was the best decision to come out of this for many reasons. One, there's something about the validation for me in this piece did not come from, oh, this is good, oh, we really love this. It came from seeing people experience it. I don't ask for it to be good. I don't care whether you like it or not. As long as it's something that you can experience. Whether that experience is something that is like, yeah, that wasn't for me, or whether that experience is like, it moved me, it made me feel X, Y, and Z. And so when we had our initial read-through with Shalia and Atu, hearing it and seeing it was like, oh wow, like I needed this. And it made me feel like, okay, that little idea from 6 or so months ago to just put it down, just put whatever's up there and put that down. The idea that like I felt all of this, like that translated. And that means everything. That means more than
You also got.
it being
You
good
also
or
need
bad.
and you also have. You have Audrey Blankston Wood, who was Hamlet in
We will
part.
get that. Trust. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. We in the car.
So
don't worry.
So look, but this is the thing. Negro, your stuff is slamming. You got some high grade Negroes. You've got Negro Renaissance, Black magic, Black excellence coming for you.
Yes, and with that, I'm going to transition to more of my love letters. Shalia,
Shalia Latour.
I could talk to Shalia forever, y'all. Forever. We would get on, and before you know it, it'll be 2 hours. It's already gone.
Hours. Yep.
When me and Shalia first met, one of the first things I said was, I could have looked you up, researched you up and down, and I intentionally chose not to because I wanted to hear from you. I wanted to be introduced to you by you, who you are, what you stand for, because that means more to me than looking you up. Shalia gets it. Shalia gets it. When I say Shalia got it and gets it, she gets it. And it's so crazy. Here I am again, fueling Budi's ego. Budi was right. Budi knew that she would get it, and she did. There was oftentimes I had very little to say, especially when it came time to record, because I was like, oh, Shalia got it. Y'all don't need me. Literally, Shalia got it, y'all. If you need me, you need me. But for the most part, I trust that she has it, and she does. Her drive is sickening.
She's a Virgo. She's a Virgo.
She is a Virgo. When it is, I don't care. You can give her 5 minutes and give her this list of impossible tasks, and I guarantee you within those 5 minutes, she'll say, I've contacted this person, and this person said they'll do this, and this. It's the work that she has done with this piece. I cannot wait to hear it myself. But like, Shalia, I love you. I am sending you so much praise. I've sent you so much already. You've heard it a million times over. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you came onto this piece. I'm grateful for Budi for volunteering me to do it. And Atu
Blankson Wood.
Y'all.
Formerly known as the Hamlet in the Park.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I've been thinking a lot recently about commitment and how like that means a lot to me. Whether it's for a second, a minute, a couple of days, a couple of months. The way that Atu came in and committed to this piece, I'm scared for y'all to listen because I don't think anyone is ready. I don't think anyone is ready for the work that was done. Y'all aren't ready. There was this moment that was so powerful that even Jack had to stop what he was doing and was like, and I also was like, oh my goodness, what is he reading? Who wrote this? Like the power that he brought to the words, which are already powerful. I will praise myself for a moment. The words are powerful, and he brought such new meaning to them. And I truly, there's no praise. And I will say that Atu and Shalia, they are a force. Really good friends and amazing, amazing collaborators. Watching them work so easily together, it was sickening. It was truly sickening. And, you know, I'll say this and I'll push forward. I met Shalia as a person, and I was able to like see her artistry from that. And I met Atu as an artist, and I would love to see the person. I'm just so grateful, and it's just such a privilege to have been able to work with all of y'all. It truly has been, and you know.
And you did all this through theater. You did all this because you got it on the page. You just wrote down what was in your head.
Ain't that crazy? And you know what? I often, and this isn't even a like imposter syndrome thing. It's, I don't know what to call it, but I've been saying this same phrase throughout the whole entire time of like recording. Who wrote this? Because genuinely,
Yeah.
I genuinely, I often forget. I often sit down and close my eyes and let it all just come out. And then when it's done, it's like that there it is. And so I remember when we were doing the first read through and I was going through and making my own notes after hearing it. And I was like, who wrote this? This sounds so good out loud, but who wrote this? There's no way.
Your muse.
And I did.
That's where Toxo comes from. It's bigger than you, baby.
So, yeah. And Adam, I would like to say, because I've talked to everyone but you, and you've been very quiet. Adam, you are never this quiet. I just want to say that every time that we talk, I've never felt like you didn't trust me. Every time you speak about this work, and about me as a writer and a person, I've always felt like you trusted that something was going to come out of it. Even in the times where, like, it took me a long time to produce something, knowing that the small little sample that it was 10 pages that I provided, knowing that was powerful enough for you to trust that we would get here, that means a lot. And you just can't ask for something more. You truly can't.
I'll tell you. When you submitted it, you scared us. Not because of the content, but because of the structure. What you were proposing structurally was exciting and scary, and it was one of those things where we were like, I don't know how he's going to do this. Yes, we have to say yes to this. I mean, the content was phenomenal already as it was, but it was the structure also, which was you're gonna have content that nobody hears from. It's stories that are not told, that are not out there, and also you're going to tell it in a way that's not been seen, experienced, or heard. And also you're proposing a way of living and being and creating in the room that is not common either. Hell yeah, we're going to say yes to this, and we're going to be scared, and we're going to figure out how to make it work. So,
yeah, I was scared too because I didn't know how I was going to make it work either. So, but you know what though? That is one of the greatest compliments I've ever gotten, Adam. Honestly and truly, I didn't think I would ever hear something like that with the way that you gaslight, but I genuinely that was wow.
And I also want to contribute something as well, Cam, because there's something that you said when you were like, it took me a long time, and then I just in one sitting I wrote what you have now. And I think you need to now honor that that's part of your process, that you had to incubate a bit, that you weren't just going to just pump it out every single day. Like you were in incubation. It wasn't that you weren't working on it. You were letting it come down the way it needed to come down. You had a deadline and you met the deadline, but and you met it in the way that you met it. So that you need to understand that that's also a part of your process, that you've got to have some incubation time for yourself to meditate and stay open for them to come down and give you more information.
And you know what, Budi? Now that it's all over, well, in the beginning, after I wrote the first chunk that was submitted as a sample, I remember I was on this high. I was like, I did that. Now what do I do? And I could not develop it further. I was like, dang, like, I feel like a superhero who just used his power to the peak and now I'm drained and I don't know where to go next. And now that I've understood how I work, the development process is so much fun for me. I am in the process of working on something new, and I think it is just so fun to see the way my brain is like, this, pick this, put it in the pot, stir it up. This needs to be something. It is genuinely, I think about it all day, every day. And it sounds so exhausting. If anyone's listening to this and they're like, all day, every day, I know it sounds exhausting, but genuinely, it is developing something is always in my mind. Hearing something you may have said on this podcast, maybe like, I write that down. Like it is always, the wheels are always turning in the most healthy way possible. And I am honoring that now. And I am in the process of, now that I understand my style and like, now that I am in the process of honoring that, now I'm thinking of how does that style build craft, and what bodies of work come from that. And I don't know. I recently, I'll give this last little story and then I'm done. I was recently in Morocco. I was recently in Morocco.
As one does.
As one does.
Trust me. And I was having a conversation with a family. And I was talking about how I truly believe I will be successful, whatever that means for me. And they were like, oh, so you're very confident. And I was like, yes. And it is not a confidence in myself per se. It's a confidence that as long as I am staying true to myself and putting that into the work, that the work will lead me to be successful. I am confident in my craft. I am confident in my skill and my ability to produce really, really strong bodies of work. And I'm confident that that will lead me to whatever success that is.
Boom.
And, you know, that is, yeah. And so I will say, as far as this play, Barrelhouse, it was it was never meant to be an audio play. I genuinely was like, please. And I needed it. I needed it really badly, because I titled it as an experience. And so I was like, oh, the dream is to like go out in like the Midwest and build this like southern town, one night only, and for like 3 hours, it is just this big event of God, watching these people be moved to a place where they're like, we gotta go, and then we all burn it down together.
Oh yes,
I'd go to that.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, an audio play, please. I needed it though.
Yeah,
because it really challenged me to think about the process of listening, and the experience of that. So I will say that it is not finished, and it won't be finished until that happens. And there's much, much more that I condensed. And I will say, Shalia was like, yeah, I don't know if it's okay with you, but I would love to give this another life.
As a Virgo does.
And I was like, oh, baby, don't you worry.
Cam, I'll just say, in 2007, Stephen Galtney wrote a play, and I said dibs to that. And that's this whole relationship is from that. So hold on to that. Cultivate that relationship with Shalia. She'll take you far, and you'll give her some great things, and she'll pull great things out of you. So
Yeah.
I fully am glad.
She's got her sights on you now. So now you got you gotta start producing, because she's gonna start directing your plays. So you're gonna have that August Wilson Lloyd Richards relationship.
Well, I'll say two things. One, I don't think I'll be able to get away from them. The first time that I saw Shalia after the first read through, Shalia was like, "I too loves you," and we both agreed we're gonna hold on to you as long as we can, as long as you let us. So yes, and if and when this does go further, Shalia will be there. Shalia,
you know she will. Yes, she will.
Trust and believe Shalia will be there. Trust and believe. You know what though? I have to say this. I have to plug this in. This is so random, but I just need this to be in recording so I can refer back to this in like 20, 30 years.
Come on.
I have to be successful, because my birthday is the same day as Sondheim and the same day as Andrew Lloyd Webber's. So there has to be some kind of large impact made. That's a sign.
It's in the stars.
So
it's in the
those of you who are
stars, girl.
listening, it's in the March 22nd. For those of you who are listening.
Aries,
we got another March baby.
Aries, don't you bow, 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 bow,
Wait.
There's so many March.
Who's the Aries?
There's so many
Me,
March people in our company.
Stephen Galtney.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I'm March 19th. Elizabeth is March a couple days before that, and then somebody else is a couple days before that. Yeah, we're all March babies.
You are an other baby.
Budi, are you a March Aries or?
I'm in March 30th.
Oh, that's a whole lot of fire, Lord. Oh, good God. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Wait, and so, Adam, you're a Pisces?
I'm a Pisces, yeah.
I love March Pisces so much.
Me too.
Oh, my goodness.
It gets steamy with all the fire from Budi and the water from me, but you know.
Oh, I bet it does. But you know what, though? You have just enough water to put
to cool it down. To
trust
cool it down.
Believe.
To cool it down.
To trust and believe.
I am the Budi whisperer.
You're the Budi doctor whisperer.
Yeah. Jack just put Jack just said he's a February Pisces. So.
Oh, see.
There we go.
Before we go, I do want to.
We should go. Before we go, we'll come back, because we're gonna go on break and listen to your favorite sound designer and composer's music, and then we'll come back with some provocations. How's that sound?
Bet. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary conforming individuals, you are listening to the stereo sounds of the one, the only, the extraordinaire, the one that brings all, the comparable, the one that brings all, the unbelievable, the unbelievable, that brings all the bananas to the yard. Jack David Burmeister. And we're back.
Let me just say before we continue, Fraser, if you are listening to this,
Fraser,
listen to I listened to your interview the morning it came out. It was 6 a.m. And I listened to your audio play the morning it came out. And
It's good, isn't it?
it was amazing work. It was amazing work.
Yeah.
Well Song was the first audio play I listened to.
Hey.
When I was doing my homework. I do my homework. I'm trying to tell y'all. And Well Song was actually the Jack audio play that I was like, yep, this is it. Because Jack really did a number on that one.
Yes, he did, didn't he? He did.
I will say it's so interesting, Fraser, that both of ours have to deal with some kind of fire. I thought that was so interesting. And I'm just so inspired. You are great, Fraser. If you are listening to this, you are great.
So, in that inspiration, I want you to give us a provocation. You got a provocation, Adam? Give. Cam is an avid listener. He knows what provocations are, but just remind him what a provocation. Remind him what a provocation is, Adam Marple.
So it's it's a question that you want to leave with the listeners. It's a provocation to do something like, you found us, and we're so happy that you found us. And there was a moment where you kind of questioned, should I submit or not? And a great provocation would be, obviously, next year, folks, if you got an idea, if you got a play that you got bouncing around in your head and you just need somebody to like whip your ass and get it out there, that's a provocation right there that I would leave. But for you, where you are right now, your headspace, your physical space, your spiritual space, what's a question or a provocation you'd leave to the audience?
That's a great question, Adam. I will. I'll leave you with a statement, not a question. Do what you gotta do. I think wherever you are in your career, early, etc., there's always something new. There's always something new to explore, something new to challenge yourself with. And I took this because it was a challenge. And look at me now, And I did it because I also knew that there was something in me that said that this is it. I gotta do what I gotta do. I trusted in myself, and after listening to y'all and listening to the work that is produced, I trusted y'all. And so once I had that established, I had to do what I gotta do. I had to do what I had to do. So to those who are listening out there, after you do your homework and you sit with it, do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I love that. Adam, how would we know that they did what they had to do?
Well, the world would be a better place, first off, if they do what they have to do. That's number one. But we would know immediately if they go to speakpipe.com/theater of others. Speakpipe.com/theater of others, theater with R-E. Theater of others, all one word. Leave a 90-second voice message on there. We'll play it on air. If you don't want to have your voice out there, but you do want your ideas out there, podcast at theaterofothers.com. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, our website, smoke signals, giant city fires. We'll take
drums. We love drums. We respond to drums.
Carrier pigeons, Morse code. We'll take whatever way we can get to talk to anybody. So, yeah, we love hearing from people. But the only way, Budi, people will know when we've got these, not only these great interviews, but this phenomenal play coming out. How they know that? How are they gonna know about
They
it?
will have to subscribe, because we come to your inbox every week. We give you a podcast, laying in the snow, y'all. We give you podcasts in the snow. Even when I'm not there, somebody gonna be there. Somebody gonna be there. If I'm not there, somebody gonna be there. If I'm not there, Adam gonna be there. And if you like us, you can do what my Uber driver does. You know, you give me 5 stars, I give you 5 star. You know, it's a winning game for all the sums.
Yep.
And if you really like us, you can leave us a little message, some feedback in the comments, and you can say, "Oh my God, I wish I could give them 5.5 stars, but there's only 5-star options. So I have to give them an extra 0.5 because that goes into our algorithm. And then we become not in the top 5% podcasts of the world. We become the top 1% podcasts in the world. And you know what that means, Adam Marple, don't you?
I do know what that means.
Who do we get at Marple? If we get into the top 1%, who do we get at Marple?
Cam's gonna come back.
He does look like Oprah Winfrey. He does look like Oprah.
No, that's awful to say. No, we're just gonna have Cam come back because he's gonna be super popular and doing amazing plays that we wish that we could do. But all we can get is Oprah.
All we can get is Oprah because Cam is not available. She ain't available,
Sorry,
y'all.
Guys.
Well,
sorry.
Hey,
I'm in Morocco doing a show.
Who's doing this? Oh, well, yeah.
So, sorry, I'd love to do something with you. I'd love to be on the podcast, but I'm in insert any country here doing a show with.
I'm in insert any country. Morocco, Milano, Paris, London.
As one does. As one does.
As one does.
Well, I guess we'll just have to have Oprah on today. Sorry, guys.
Well, I guess we'll take Oprah. You know, Cam's not coming on, so.
Hey, I'll be back in New York very, very soon.
Upstate New York?
I have no plans on leaving.
Nobody's coming to upstate New York. Ain't nobody going to upstate New York.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that
train.
Cam, thanks for coming on, and thanks for being a part of this and submitting your work and sharing all of your brilliance with us. We're just so gifted to so gifted to have you a part of the family. You are an other too.
And I too am an ancestor.
Yes, honey.
There it is.
Yes, honey.
Oh,
Adam, I love you.
That's it right there.
I love you, Adam.
I love you too.
I'll see y'all soon, yeah? And we'll be on the podcast next week. Bye!
Thanks for joining us this week on the Theater Brothers podcast. Make sure to visit our website, theaterbrothers.org, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. A special thank you to Purple Planet for the music you've heard. The Theater Brothers creates a shared community of artists and audiences for the purposes of exploring the most profound issues of our lives and times. We believe the play watches the audience. The audience is necessary, and they are witness to what happens. And you get to be witness to us making that happen. The purpose of this podcast is to open up our process and let you in. We're peeling back the curtain, so to speak, and encouraging you to follow along, to ponder, prod, and question, to join us and criticize us if need be. Being a witness is no passive task and requires much from you. Are you up for the journey? Be sure to tune in next week for our next journey.